Hello, everybody, and finally, for like real this time, no
Mm-hmm.
groundhog stuff.
Yeah,
This
uh,
does feel like Groundhog Day.
welcome to
it
the
is. Yeah.
welcome to the Dear Video Games
Thematically.
podcast. Welcome to the Dear Video Games podcast. Our open letter to our favorite hobby. Goodness, man, we were having the worst technical difficulties. As you can see, we don't even have
Mm-hmm.
our background up because I'm like, let's just get to it. Let's get to it. Let's talk about
Straight in.
our favorite stuff. Today,
Who needs show structure? Let's
who
just let's
needs
just
it?
dive right in.
Who needs
Yeah.
it? Who
Well.
needs it? Nobody's paying
But
us.
you don't get this kind of like inside baseball, behind the scenes talk with IGN. You got to come here
You
to
just
hear
don't.
about all the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We're real.
My name is
Really
Curtis
disrupting
Russell.
the field.
My name is Curtis Russell, and I write about video games. I am a staff writer, video producer, editor at Sports Gamers Online, Game Luster, here on the Soul Dojo, video producer, all that stuff. Voltaire Slapadelic is here with us, people. Of course, we love Voltaire Slapadelic.
How you doing?
Yeah,
I'm here. You can see me. You can hear me. I know that I'm alive.
yeah,
Like
he's here.
it's great. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then if you're listening on Spotify and you hear a British accent, we have Niall Edwards on the channel.
Hello, I'm the third one.
He's the third in the
We were
last
gonna
one,
make him do an
definitely.
American accent, but
Oh man, that'd be so
You don't
funny.
wanna hear
Matter of
that.
fact, Niall, what have you been playing in American? Say it in American.
Oh, okay.
Say it in
You don't want this. I have been playing a little indie game called Inside from
Oh
2016,
my goodness.
the year of our Lord.
That
Yeah,
was not bad.
It's actually
was
pretty
it
good.
not?
It's actually pretty good.
That was not bad.
Maybe I got a
I
new
wouldn't I
career on
wouldn't
my
have
hands.
I wouldn't have been tricked by it. But it wasn't bad.
It's like, is this guy calling me from Alabama? All you had to throw in
Yeah,
there was
yeah. Oh, crazy.
roll tide,
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
tide. That's all you had to throw in there,
Oh.
man.
Is that John
Right.
Marston?
Yeah, a bit of
Yeah.
y'alls and a bit of Nah, that's it. I'm out.
That's that's all I can do.
That's all I got.
So you've been playing Inside.
Yeah, I've been
Is that
playing
that's
Inside.
an independent title, right?
Yeah, I think it's a company called Play Dead. It came out in 2016. Kind of like a puzzle platformer, very slow and slow, but it's been absolutely a blast to play. It's really creative, maybe one of the most creative games I've played. So annoyed that it took me so long to get around to it,
Mm-hmm.
but now that I'm on,
I've
I'm
heard good
loving
things about that one too.
That
Mm.
game is definitely going to be my cult of the lamb. It's going to be, why did I take so long to get around to this? Why am I taking so
100%.
long? Yeah. Voltaire, you've been playing a lot. I see you on PlayStation.
I've been playing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, um, uh, for the record, it is my partner playing Harvest Moon.
Oh, for real?
It's
Is
me.
it?
Yeah. I keep getting questions like, "You're playing the Harvest Moon?" And I'm like, "It's no." I'm happy to get
Likely
the trophies
story.
though.
I
Yeah.
was sitting there and I was like,
I
he's
mean, it's
playing
not like it's
Harvest
a bad
Moon,
game or
okay.
anything. It's just funny to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Because
okay,
people are
he's
like,
playing
"Oh, you're
Harvest
playing."
Moon.
What a fun duality that you're going back and forth between Dead Space remake and Dead Harvest Moon.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
But yeah, I haven't
ooh,
played Dead Space.
he's
And that game
diverse. He's
is
like playing
really
Dead
good.
Space
Yeah.
and stuff, and he's playing, Harvest Moon. Okay, he's playing like other games. I'm like, oh, I like this. But yeah, Dead Space remake. Need to get to it. What is it
Yeah.
like? How good is it?
It's very good. I like it quite a bit. I never played the original, so I'm going in blind. I don't have like nostalgia or anything for it. And I'm sometimes chicken out of like horror games. You know what I mean? Because they can be a bit intense. But it's not to the level of scary that like Resident Evil is.
Mm.
It's scary, but it's not so much that I'm like freaking out. You know what I mean? Like Resi 7, I could barely, I could not get through that game. So it's not to that level, but it is. It's pretty tense and it's very good. I'm enjoying it like a lot. Like it's a cool. It feels old school enough to be like a fun old time, like not old school, but like somewhat of a throwback kind of shooter. And but then it's like modernized enough to where it doesn't. To me, it just feels like a new game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a remake per se.
Yeah, and EA Motive's behind that game. I think EA Motive really did go in on like the sound design, the atmosphere, the ambiance that game is bringing. They would really put that to the forefront when they were trying to sell this game because, of course, EA is attached to it. So a lot of people just weren't sure. But EA Motive seems like they really did a great
Yeah.
job with it.
I definitely just was not paying any attention to this game when it was like announced and being talked about and stuff. It wasn't until the reviews started coming out and people started saying this is great. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like I know that it's EA, but it's actually good, you know?
Mm.
And like, so yeah,
which
that's
is
why I ended
rare.
up getting it. Yeah, it's incredibly rare. It's like, what? I was like,
Uh,
are we talking about the same company? Care and thought into a
exactly.
game?
Exactly. And that's the funny
Yeah.
thing when you think like earlier this week, or earlier last week, that news came out about that Madden story where they were saying, that Electronic Arts is like, if you don't get Madden together, like we're gonna start kicking people out of management, and it's like, what? You guys don't do things like that. So either NFL is in your ear, like, hey, fix this damn game, or
Yeah.
you're finally turning a page. But I think it's the latter. I think it's NFL that's being like,
Or it could be just something completely that we're not like EA's like, you're not nickel and diming people enough. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, we need to put more NFTs in the game, you know?
NFTs, NFTs.
I mean,
You're not going hard enough on loot boxes, you know?
Oh, they
not
are.
enough.
They bent us over
Yeah.
those. Jesus.
But I get the feeling we might be approaching like a turning point for EA because they're losing the FIFA license this
Mhm.
year, or have decided not
Mhm.
to renew it. It's going to be what's it called, like EA Sports FC or something.
Yes, EA Sports
I think
FC.
so, yeah.
And I feel like they might be looking at that as an opportunity to go, you know what? Let's get back in, like in court of public opinion. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get it good again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I just remember myself and a lot of other people who I talk about video games with, including whatever your name is, and what's it called? We're like, oh, cool, they lost the FIFA license. Maybe next Madden will pull their license. You know what I mean? Maybe next to, and I'm not Mad, not John Madden, but the NFL will pull their license, and they'll have to, at least not be exclusive because there's all those rumors about like a new NFL 2K and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Mm.
and it's like, and so that was still kind of wild to me when they did renew their exclusivity on like the football, like NFL simulation games, and um and so I'm thinking that EA is like you said, feeling the pressure. They're probably sitting there like, well, I mean, FIFA is just as big or bigger than the NFL. And if they pulled out, then who's to say the NFL
Mm.
won't be next? You know,
Yeah, and
because like you look at Sony in their baseball game, or you look at even NBA 2K, and they're way better than like just mechanically like what Madden
yeah, yeah.
is. You know what I mean?
Especially NBA 2K. I know like now it's like this over dramatic BET movie that they do with it, but it's like now it's like Niall, for you in America we have something called Black Entertainment TV type stuff, TV channel.
Right.
That's why I say BET, but it's like they're doing that and they're kind of forgetting about basketball. Like you can't just like have a calendar in front of you and say, okay, I'm gonna play the Clippers, now I'm gonna play the Warriors and this. No, it's
Oh,
like
right.
it's like you gotta do that, then you gotta like break up with your girlfriend, and then you play the Grizzlies. Like it's like,
I could
dude, I
see
just
that
wanna
being interesting though. See,
it's
I
good.
I wish FIFA Career Mode had a bit more of that. Maybe not
Mm-hmm.
mandatory, but if that was more, because
Mhm.
FIFA, my unpopular opinion is I actually quite like
Mm-hmm.
FIFA, because I only really play Career Mode, and it is pretty much the same every year.
That's
That's
true.
how I am with sports games too. With the
Yeah,
MLB The Show and with Madden, actually, I like the franchise modes. I
Mm.
just like I so gradually make all the teams and players so ridiculous that by a couple seasons in, every team is 99 overall with these like superhuman
yeah,
monsters on their team, and so it's like playing NFL Blitz or EA Street
Yeah,
games back
yeah,
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. Yeah, no, totally.
um,
I agree with you now because it's like you it is the same every year, but it's like I want them to take a little bit from that NBA 2K
yeah,
experience. Not go cuz 2K now at its point now, it's like it's overboard now. It's like now you could be like a producer. Like you could be Voltaire Slapadelic and you can be, Kareem Abdul-Rahman and stuff like that. You could be Kobe and Voltaire Slapadelic. Like it's crazy. It's crazy, but like yeah, if they took a little bit of it and like just to make the career mode a lot better. And hopefully with
yeah,
EA Sports FC, they do lean into that because like what Electronic Arts has said is like the reason why we haven't updated this game how people want us to is because of FIFA. Like FIFA have exclusivity to the license of the modes too. And I was like, when I
Mhm.
heard that, I was like,
I
wow.
remember when they said that, but I was like, does FIFA control when they make Madden in NBA Live?
Or like
Like they do the
NFL,
same shit
yeah,
on those
like
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't think FIFA owns the NFL.
at the end of the day, we got to see how this plays out because I'm gonna be busy
Mhm.
when this starts coming out.
yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into gaming in March. uh, I don't know if you guys knew this. March, like gaming in March is massive this year. There is so much going on, especially for sports games. We're gonna get to that, but we got news today that that the Outer Worlds Spacer Choice Edition is gonna be out March 7th. Now that's gonna bring the Outer Worlds to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Me and Voltaire really love this game. Really enjoyed
great
this
game.
game. Really good game. It at the time was probably the staple of exactly how AAA games should be moving forward. You shouldn't have the loot boxes. You shouldn't have all that crazy stuff because it was like, I think it was it Fallout? Was it Fallout 76 came out and then
Fallout
this came out?
76 had just come
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And it was
Or
just
maybe
a reminder
earlier that year.
It was a reminder. But
Now that they're both under the Microsoft wing, they should just work
Yeah.
together on Fallouts from
Yeah.
now on, because
make a
clearly,
new Vegas
like,
type thing.
make New Vegas again, but in the style of Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
New Vegas is kind of hard to play nowadays because it's very old. It's very old Bethesda, you know what I mean, game in that kind of style. But to have it play like Outer Worlds, I think would it would be like a whole. It'd be like the big, huge game all over again. You know?
We should do a list of like games that are great, but like they're so outdated because Niall played Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and just didn't get it.
It didn't work for me. Did not
What?
work for me. But that's the thing. 'Cause I feel like that's the kind of game you had to be there, and I wasn't able to go back to it, even though I love Zelda. But I started playing. This was so sad. I was at a party the other night, and instead of like socializing, dancing, having a great time, me and my mate brought his new 3DS XL, and I'd never seen one before. And so there was a solid 15 minutes where we were sat in the corner. I was just like, oh, I love Donkey Kong. And I played a bit of Ocarina of Time 3D, the remake, and I was like, it was the first time that game felt like it had clicked for me. Maybe I'm going to buy a 3DS just to play Ocarina of Time.
Well, then they updated a lot of stuff with it that time.
That's a great version of that game.
Yeah.
I've long said if they're gonna ever do like an actual remake, because I know that you can play the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the Switch Online, but if they're ever gonna do like a Switch version of those games, they should remake the 3DS versions instead of the N64 versions, because they did a lot of just little tweaks and improvements that make the game, like you said, feel more like a modern game, you know?
I mean, I would love for them to do like, and this is a game we might talk a little bit about later if we're talking anticipated games of the year, but the Final Fantasy VII remake and Rebirth, which comes later this year, I'd love it if they did like that kind of remake with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Like, take the blueprint of it and make something like new and fresh and exciting out of it.
And
I
that'd be,
think
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, the remake of that game kind of played a part in the story. There was like something that was kind of trying to make them stay on par with the story in the Final Fantasy VII remake, and then if you try to stray away from that, I forgot, I haven't played it since it launched, but there was like an entity that tried to like stop you from doing that. That would be really cool though. That would be a great idea. But Nintendo knows that would sell well. I guess they're just working their way to it, but we don't know if we're gonna get it.
I'm not sure if they even.
I mean, we still don't
Nintendo
have
is so
Wind Waker
weird.
HD.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo are just so weird with the re-release and stuff that they'll do they'll either do something really cool with it, or they'll do the laziest like spit and polish. And
It's always one or the other. Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, it's like, or they'll, for whatever reason, they've been getting into the habit of like this really good idea, that they're only gonna sell for like a day or whatever, you know. And it's like, I'm lucky to have gotten the Mario 3D All Stars on my Switch when it was available, because it's very good versions of those games. But
I got it and then sold it because I bought it purely because I thought it'd be like worth something. And then a year went by and I got bored of waiting. I was like, I'll just sell it for less money than I bought it for.
You're a real what is it, bullish on the 3D All Stars.
Speaking of games,
I tried to go scalper mentality.
Yeah, you did. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
For me.
Speaking of games that did get remastered, I did play the Metroid Prime remaster. That was my first time playing it, and I think Voltaire, in our first impressions, you can watch it here on the Soul Dojo. I think he nailed it perfectly. I think it's amazing. I think that game is phenomenal.
It's so good.
So good.
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
such a great game. Like, I took a little break from it because I was just kind of messing around and I accidentally jumped into lava and died and I had forgotten to save, so I went back
And
like
he's like,
half an
screw
hour
this
to
game.
before the previous boss, and I was like, so then naturally I blame the game for what was
Yeah.
clearly my fault.
Someone pushed me in that damn lava.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Shigeru Miyamoto compelled me to do it.
uh, all right, let's
It
jump
w-
into gaming in March. All right, so we got through the Outer Worlds because that's what we talked about the whole time. Um, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it, and I might do a first impressions on it because I've done so much content on that game on the channel. So March 3rd is Wulong Fallen Dynasty. Are you guys? It's just so much Dark Souls projects now. It's like you got Elden Ring that won Game of the Year. Before that was Sekiro, and then like all these other games are taking that. It's just too much. It's too much of
Yeah.
it. It's too much, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna play Wulong Fallen Dynasty only because it's just too much of that type of style of game. It's like
Yeah.
eating like a really
The-
good
yeah.
chocolate cake, and you're eating half of it, and you're like, I'm just done with it. It's great. It's amazing. I'm gonna love it, but
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go in on it.
You get
Yeah,
fatigued.
you know, and like I always say about the like Souls-like games, is it's one of those genres where, like, with very few exceptions, FromSoft is like the only people that's good at making those games, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like anytime they come out with a new one, like a Bloodborne or a new Dark Souls or Elden Ring, and there's then for the next like 2 years, it's just going to be a slew of copycat games, you know, where it's like you roll and then you stab, you know, and it's
Mhm.
like, all right,
And that's
okay,
the thing, including even all the From Software games, that type of game, the only one I've ever been able to get along with personally was Elden Ring. I've played a bit of Dark Souls, bounced straight off it. Bloodborne didn't work for me, but
Mm.
Elden Ring, just something about it. I was all in,
Mhm.
and I didn't finish it, but I was into it for when I played it. I should go
Yeah.
back and finish it off.
See, that's sort of how I am with FromSoft games. Like, the only one I've completed is Bloodborne, but then that was a trick, you know. And it's like I don't have the patience for those games. I
Yeah.
can if I really sat down and do it, get good at them. But I just get so frustrated. Like I was playing Demon Souls on my PS5, and I was like, there's so much that this game does well that it makes me want to keep playing it to a point, you know. And then after a
Mm.
while, I'm like, I'm not gonna I'm gonna start. I'm gonna smash my $800 PlayStation
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
keep
Well,
trying to do
Yeah.
this.
a similar kind of thing is what happened to me. We were talking about the Metroid Prime remaster before, and I was loving that game whilst I was playing it when that remaster came out a couple weeks back. But I just don't think I have the patience. I kept on like not knowing where to go, and the map kind of points you in the direction a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love a lot of what it's doing, and I really want to keep going and explore more of that. But there's just a little bit of me that's like, I don't have the patience in me
Yeah.
for this, which
Yeah,
is the
not,
same I've always felt
yeah,
with Souls-like games.
yeah, and I get that way with Metroid games specifically too. Like I've
Yeah.
never been. It's been difficult for me to get into 2D Metroids and Castlevania, Metroidvania type of games. Prime is like the one piece of Metroid, other than like a couple of the Game Boy Advance games, that I've been able to like really get into. And like, did you play the original back in the day?
No, I didn't.
Because see, I think that might be the difference. It's that
Yeah.
I remember more than I think I do. So so like even if I think I'm stuck, I'm sort of intuitively walking towards it because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, the thing or whatever, the Arby's I used to go to or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
It's
I'm
one of those
currently stuck
games.
on Elden Ring pretty bad. I have two NPCs that are not bosses. They're not even hard, and I just can't get past them. It is
they're
what it
just
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
that
like
type
I
of
like the
game.
game. It's great. It's amazing, but I'm just gonna stop here.
yeah,
The next game
yeah.
is Voltaire. Don't laugh at this name because we've had names from sports/racing games before that have been ridiculous. But I've actually reviewed this game last year. The official Monster Energy Supercross 6.
Yeah,
Yeah, baby.
yeah. Game of the year.
This is my favorite game series of all time.
My favorite motocross, Monster Energy drink motocross game is probably Death Stranding. But other than that,
Oh, I forgot
Okay,
about
okay.
that.
Look. Now,
You're spot on.
Super Monster
I'd
Energy
say it's probably my
Supercross
least favorite.
Fit 5 was okay. I forgot what I gave it. I think I gave it maybe a 7 or something. It's actually, this game isn't very arcade-ish, like typical Supercross games or like MX versus ATV, like the old school ones. This is very simulation. Like if you hitting turns and hitting like the bumps and stuff like that, you gotta kind of lean back on the stick and you have to kind of maneuver the right stick. It's really good. It's actually pretty decent. I will only
more
play
like
this.
Death Stranding than I thought.
Yeah, it's better than I'll only play this if I get paid to play it, to review it. So it's great. There's
That's a power move. I love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
I remember when the second
it's not like they're
out.
lacking for money. Monster Energy.
No. Monster Energy. I had a monster like 2 days ago.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Really?
You're not
I'm
missing
not an
nothing.
energy drink guy. Yeah, it's everywhere here.
Oh, yeah, man. You
would do disgusted by that.
He said, oh, what have we done? What have we unleashed on the world?
Drink 3 of them and then do this podcast.
This country needs to answer for its crimes.
Do you remember this is a weird left turn here, but I just got thinking of Death Stranding got me hit. Do you guys remember the Schick Hydra bot? It was at the Game Awards in like 2013. It was this razor company made a robot called the Schick Hydra bot,
and it was like a razor, and he like a shaving.
That's weird.
Yeah,
terrifying. Everyone at home, look up the Schick Hydra bot, and it's a beautiful part of human history.
That's
I think
weird.
it's where we really
I just
peaked as a
remember it every
species.
once in a while, like a picture of it standing next to Jeff Keighley, with like his arm around him.
That's the exact photo
I gotta
think
look
of.
this up. I gotta look this up. That's crazy. Next on the list, March 17th is Bayonetta Origins, Syriza and the Lost Demon. This is the one that isn't a Bayonetta game necessarily. It's like
2D or it's like more. It's like kind of chibi. I remember
like a
seeing
Final
it on the
Fantasy
direct,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a little Final Fantasy game. Like
Looks interesting.
one
Yeah.
of the Crystal Chronicle ones. If you want the story element of Bayonetta, I guess you would go for that. Following that,
It always trips me out when games do these like sort of spin-offs. Like always makes me wonder like what makes them decide to not only make that game but make it like a Bayonetta spin-off. You know what I mean? Because it's always like there's always like, oh, if you really want the full story of this game, you need to play our like weird Farmville knockoff or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like what?
It's weird. It is weird
Why?
when games do that. It is weird when games do that. WWE 2K23 on March 17th. Voltaire, are you playing that?
I tried out the I tried it out on Game Pass. I don't know if it was the 2023. Oh, I guess it couldn't have been. So yeah, I tried out on Game Pass, the last one, and I am very bad at it. I am just bad at it. It's very hard.
Yeah.
I was like shockingly difficult. I'm like, this is crazy how hard this game is. I expected to play kind of like NWO WCW on the back of the day.
Yeah.
Which that's still the best wrestling game 20 some odd years later. just copy it.
I don't know if the WWE games are kind of play similar to this in any way, but summer last year I got really, really into the EA UFC games. Super obsessed with them for a while. It was summer. I'd go around to mates' houses, would stay there like for 5 days straight, wake up, just play UFC all day, go out for a couple walks. Beautiful time of my life. And so I sound like a grandparent, like describing their childhood. But yeah, I got a soft spot for those games.
And that's a very random game to throw out there. Yeah, UFC punching people in the face, kicking them.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and then go outside and just live my life how I usually do.
It's what humanity is all about.
Yeah,
it is. Just
WWE,
enjoying the weather, seriously injuring other people.
Yeah. After I might punch that guy in the face, but I'm not. I know I can't.
Yeah.
WWE 2K23 has like the John Cena showcase. You're gonna be able to play like multiple matches against him. You get to be those people. So yeah, March 17th. Next
I want to jump in here in case you skip it because I feel like you might. But another big March 17th release, super important, maybe the biggest game of the year, Peppa Pig World Adventures.
Oh yeah, I was gonna skip
coming
that.
out.
Yes.
And it's coming out on all consoles. That's my.
That's Hideo Kojima's new game, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
My game of the year already.
I think only you would understand what the hell's going on in that game.
Do you not have Peppa Pig in the US?
No, we do.
We do. So I read something. So I think I'm like a little bit too. I'm like just too old for Peppa Pig. I don't think it came to the U.S. until like the 2000s. But apparently there are some kids in some parts of the U.S. that were so raised on Peppa Pig that they actually have it's like a somewhat of a British accent.
That is hilarious.
Right,
I've heard.
that was the
I've
point
heard.
of the show. It was for
That's the point of the show.
colonization. We were trying to
Yeah.
rebuild the British Empire, and we did it via Peppa Pig, and it sounds like it
Dude,
worked.
Peppa Pig. It's brilliant. Yeah.
That is funny. That is funny. Next up is EA Sports PGA Tour on March 24th. Anybody have any Niall, are you a golfer?
My
Yeah,
dad
you guys.
is.
I was about to say you guys have a big following in golf, right? Over there.
Yeah, it's a pretty big golf country, but it's mostly like bold 40. I mean, I'd say that I'm bold, but bold 40 to 50-year-old man
Yeah.
hitting the green to get away from the misses is what golf
Mhm.
kind of is in this country. So I don't have much connection to it yet,
Yet,
but I'm sure it'll come one day.
Got you.
I don't even know who's the cover golfer anymore because isn't it named after? Isn't it was like Tiger Woods for a while,
Yeah,
and then
and
it
it
was
went
like
to Roy
bring
McIlroy.
Tiger
Rory
Woods back.
McIlroy or
Yeah,
whatever.
it went to Roy
Yeah,
McIlroy,
yeah.
ooh, they both
No.
didn't do that well in the tournament, didn't
In
they?
their personal lives, or yeah.
No,
yeah.
no. All right. So Voltaire or PEA. Okay, I'm probably gonna get that PGA Tour game, by the way.
Okay.
Right next to it, Voltaire Resident Evil 4 remake. They're continuing the remakes of the Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm here
excited?
for it. I'm very excited. That Resident Evil 4 is definitely my favorite Resident Evil game. I would put it in my top 10 easily, like just games ever. Like
Mhm.
it's very good. I like I said, I always try new Resident Evil games because I love what they do. I think that they're some of the best games that come out nowadays, just in
Mhm.
terms of just all around quality, the voice acting, the graphics, just everything. I'm just such a huge coward that I don't normally finish those games. But 4, I've actually completed multiple times. I have it on I have like the copy of it on PS2 back here. I played it on the GameCube back in the day. I have it on my Switch. It's just I don't know. It's something about it.
Mm.
I think it's a mixture of like the nostalgia for the GameCube version, as well as it just being an addictive game in its own right. Which is yeah. So when I saw the remake, I was like, you know,
I gotta get it. I have to have it.
Have you played the version of 7 that's in VR?
I have not. And that is a bridge. That is a bridge.
I've been looking
I've
at
seen
the
it.
PSVR 2, and I'm thinking like, I might get that. Talk about it on the
Mhm.
channel, and the one I'd have to go in on Resident Evil on that and just see how
far
much
into it you can get.
poo-
That
Yeah.
sounds like a terrible time. I'm not even gonna lie.
yeah,
Mhm.
That sounds
also the
real
best.
Yeah.
rough. Oh man, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like, because just playing Resident Evil 7, like, there were times when I would have to like put the controller down and be like,
Oh, wow.
okay, it's just a game. It's not real.
I think I'm gonna have that
Everything's
with
fine.
the Peppa Pig game as well, though. So.
Yeah. Because of the implications.
I had to do that
It
a few
didn't
times.
work.
I had to do that a few times with Metro Exodus. I think I've talked about that before.
Mm.
Metro Exodus gave me massive anxiety. It was just really bad. I was like, yo, I can't play this game. It's physically killing me.
Wow.
All right.
That's when you know the horror game does really well, is
Mm.
when it's like hard to keep playing because you're like,
When it infects your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I need to get in that dead space. I know I'm gonna love it. So March 28th, MLB The Show 23. That's coming
Nice.
straight to Game Pass, so I'm probably gonna definitely try that out.
Alright.
So like I really enjoy the game. I love the their customization, just how deep it is. You
Mhm.
know, like I have my team's called like the Fire, and the logo's like a weed, like a pot leaf. You know what I mean? And it's just it's hilarious. I think it's just so funny. You know,
Yeah.
all
Sounds
the
that.
players have ridiculous names. It's just you know, it's great. It's super fun, and the gameplay is actually good. It feels like a sort of balance between the way that like sports games, like more simple sports games from back in the day, with like still feeling like you're watching a baseball game, you know.
Yeah.
But like I started a season, and the seasons are like 1,000 games long. So I think
Yeah.
I'm still in like the first season of like franchise mode. So I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm gonna get 23. 'cause I think-
Baseball is 136
It's a long
games.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Baseballs
crazy.
are-
And
baseballs
each
are-
game takes like 7 hours.
I'm definitely gonna buy it. What I really like about MLB, I've always said this. A feature I really like is the dynamic difficulty. So you can set it at
Yeah, I
the
like
start,
that too.
and like if you're hitting a lot of balls, the game's like, okay, we'll put it up a little bit for you. If you start killing and really going hard at bat, yeah, they'll put up the difficulty for you. So I really like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I think that's clever. Yeah.
Really dope. I wish more sports games taking that up. Niall, are you into baseball at all? I know you guys have cricket. I don't play that.
I don't think I've played baseball once. We did it in PE in high school once, and nobody understood it. So we just went back to playing like rounders, which is essentially the exact same game for all intents and purposes. But it was like, oh, you stupid kids will get this more. But it's one that I played it on Connect Sports a lot actually. When the Xbox
interesting,
360 was a thing, so I kind of know it. That is like the most baseball experience I have. But
there's a good we had a good version of it too, I feel.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
100%. Hey, that's actually a good timer. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's a good timer. We have 10 minutes on this podcast. Fantastic.
I saw that too. I was like, uh-oh. Just ignore that.
I was like, oh.
Good timing. Actually, yeah, perfect timing. Because by the time we're done, it would be 9 o'clock. We'll go through our most anticipated games of 2023. I just made this list, kind of just looking at it. And Niall, you kind of threw in the new Final Fantasy in there. Final Fantasy 7 remake. Like, I don't know what they're calling it. Is it 2 or R or something?
Rebirth.
Rebirth.
It's just called Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which is a weird marketing thing to me. I don't know if people are going to get it, but we'll see how that pans out.
You're throwing it in there, and I think that's a good one because I think the first one was so good. It reintroduced everybody to Leon and his story. So,
Final Fantasy 7 Part 2, 3.
I said Leon in the story, make a cloud in the story. My bad. Kingdom Hearts is stuck in my head so hard. It's just okay. First game I have on this list is Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I got that too.
Okay.
Yes, that looks great. Yeah.
Looks really good. Electronic Arts is like, we're going to make good Star Wars games now. So
that's their other good game. It's the Jedi game.
Just this. Just this.
No.
And the fact that it's like next-gen console, well, it's on PC as well, I assume, but in terms of consoles and next-gen exclusive, it makes me more excited than I was already, because I'm like, oh, okay, we might be seeing some. Because
I love when there's games that are only on the PS5, because then I can be like, I can play this game.
I can justify that purchase.
Yeah.
It's all for ego.
It is. It's just a flex.
The next game I believe is an Xbox and PC exclusive. It's Redfall, the vampire FPS game. Redfall. By your expression, you guys don't give a shit. Okay.
Yeah, no, straight over my head.
Looks all right. I'll probably check it out because I'm assuming it'll be on Game Pass.
Yes,
but it's not something that blows me away.
Yeah.
I would check it out if my Xbox still worked, but I need to take it in and get it fixed because Microsoft have screwed me. 5 stars.
Oh no. Another red light of death thing?
That sucks.
So when I try and boot up a game, it will just freeze on like the splash screen, and I thought it was just it's the same with like Netflix and Blu-rays now. Like it won't load up anything. So I don't know what's happened there. So maybe I'll play Redfall if I ever get my Xbox fixed.
Yeah, if it starts working again, yeah.
Game Pass gives me a good reason to try it out. So it sounds like it has cool characters, good little concept, but hopefully it doesn't like start hot and then die off really quick. That would suck. The next game is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Are we even entertaining these type of games? Because it seems like people are interested in them.
I was into it for a minute, and then I found out it was like that Avengers game from a few years ago.
The Avengers thing, the live service thing. I think I'm just so over it. I'm just really over it. It's what I think the idea the live service is just like a backwards approach. It's like it's cool to have a constant stream of DLC and new content and everything, but when that's just the point of the game to begin with, then you know that when you buy the game, it's just going to be nothing. They're not coming up with new stuff. They're withholding things, to drip feed them. And I feel like that's you can tell. You can tell.
The game has to end at some point. God damn it.
Yeah, and that too. That's the other big. Yeah, exactly.
I'm also just so bored of like superhero stuff in general. Like I don't care about the Marvel stuff anymore. Yeah. I'm off it. Get rid of them all. Let the bad guys win for once.
Yeah.
Bring back Thanos.
Our next 2 games. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be very excited. The first one, I'm gonna go this one first because I want to talk about the next one because I feel like it's the biggest one. Is Diablo 4. Okay. I am excited for this game. I am so excited. Because it's a Diablo game where you can actually fully customize a character. It's open world. I know Voltaire was just talking about kind of the live service thing. I know they're gonna keep Diablo's always been set up as that, like just kind of like you're gonna, feed you, content here and there. But I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
You guys
to
have
play this game.
phones?
Don't you guys have
Oh
phones?
God, no.
You guys not have phones?
I'm so
Well,
glad I didn't play that game. I'm so glad I didn't play more.
That's all I think of when I think of Diablo now.
Every
is that
time
you
it
guys
brought,
have
brought
phones
up,
thing.
yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's overtaken the childhood memories of playing it on my cousin's computer, like Diablo 1 and 2, Now
Yeah.
it's just that guy going, don't you have phones? Yeah,
Incredible.
dude. Yeah.
Like he really
I
tried to
do.
sell it. Like he was legit like, don't you guys have phones? Like we bought
Yeah, they don't have Diablo on them.
Yeah. I used to call my mom while I'm playing Diablo. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, very excited for that game. I'm gonna be in the beta. My brother's gonna be in the beta, and I'm like so excited to have a team. Like I'm like, bro, like I'm telling my brother, like I will buy it for you. Like, dude, like you're gonna play this game with me. Our final game we'll be talking about is Peppa Pig. No, I'm playing. Legend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda: Tears
Peppa
of
Pig,
the
Tears
Kingdom.
to the Kingdom.
Peppa Pig.
No,
Tears
that's a
of the
mod
Kingdom.
I want to see.
Legend of
Oh,
Zelda:
yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. Where are we at after everything that they've shown? Where are we at, Niall, with this game and your hype level, and what do you expect from this game?
I'm nervous, but I'm purposely nervous because I think if I get too excited, it's not like the amount of excited I was before. The face of God could appear on the screen on release day, and I wouldn't be satisfied. So I've really tried to like temper my expectations.
Yeah.
So now I'm nervous, but I'm getting more and more confident as we get closer. And that new trailer did a lot for me.
Good.
Mhm.
Good. Voltaire, where you at with this game right now?
I talk a big game about being anti like capitalism and all that good stuff and everything, but I have an unapologetic shill for Nintendo, and it's hard
I'm
to
in the
not be.
exact same boat.
I'm like you said, I'm trying to be like I'm gonna keep my composure. I'm gonna be like cautiously optimistic. Just as long as the last one was one of my favorite games ever, so it's as long as it sort of lives up to that, I'll still be happy, I guess. But then they show him like phase through the floor. Or he has like the robot arm or whatever, and I'm like,
Make a big
he's in a car.
I'm very excited for this game. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's just more Breath of the Wild. I don't know if it's something completely different. Is it more linear? What is it? It's just I think I'm more curious about this game because I think Breath of the Wild just wowed me, and I wasn't expected to be wowed to the point I'm like, this is the best game I've ever played. Yes, Niall, I'm finally at that point. This is the best game I've ever played. It took
nice to have you on the team.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
To the point I had to
Taking
get
a
a
short
tattoo
distance.
of it on my body. Like it's like
Oh, for real?
yeah, I have the Sheikah. I'm not gonna get naked on the stream, but yeah.
Just take your clothes off. Yeah. How many other tattoos do you have?
Before we get kicked off this call as well, I also want to really quickly throw in, I'm very excited. Excited for Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man.
good
Oh
one.
yeah,
You get
that's
what
right.
I'm
I keep
trying to
forgetting about that.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's gonna be a good one, too, yeah.
Can't wait
It's
for
like
that.
autumn it's coming, so
Yeah,
it'll be good.
yeah. That one is I want to see where they take the story and how do they redo the. I want to see the open world. I want to see different kind of activities and missions and diversity in the missions too, because like the new.
I'm also interested to see how they work in Miles, because I would
Dual
assume that they're
Spider-Man,
gonna be able to switch back and forth. I'm just kind of
wonder
wondering
if they're
about
gonna
if
do
they
it
will.
like GTA style.
That would honestly work so well.
Yeah, I
You
could be
know?
into that.
Cars and
You
stuff.
have like Miles and then Peter Parker and then there's Trevor.
Yes, yeah, bring him over. Oh,
All right, y'all. Well, before we get kicked off the stream because Google's like, all right, too much. That's too much. Make sure
Yeah.
you
Too much
guys.
content.
They're trying to shut us down because we're truth tellers.
Yeah, exactly.
Saying what you're not supposed to say.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the Soul
Peppa
Dojo
Pig will be
Gaming
the
channel.
best game.
Subscribe to subscribe to the Soul Dojo Gaming channel. This has been Dear Video Games. You can follow me at Cali. Oh, yeah, I have my own website. No, you can follow me on Twitter at Cali from the Dojo. We have Voltaire Slapadelic. You can follow him. Is it V underscore?
V_Slapadelic
Yeah.
at the Twitter. Yeah. I
And
got
then-
banned from my old account for various reasons.
And then you have underscore Niall Edwards, I believe. I don't know how I just remember
Maybe.
you guys' handle. Like
I don't remember mine.
I don't
so
know
who
either. You
knows?
can-
But yeah, I think you got it.
You can check out all my stuff on Sports Gamers Online, Game Luster, things like that. And yeah,